Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is your host with the most essential dose, and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can tell from the screen right now, we're back again. As promised, we did say we were gonna do a Legend of Korra tier list. If you have not yet seen our part 1, we did a Avatar: The Last Airbender tier list. We have not done the full version. We did mention in the video, just because that last video was like about an hour, and if we do the full character list of Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's gonna be in parts. But we're here with Korra today. I'm joined by, you know who, my boy Deontay, aka Wiki Spanish, aka member of the board, Big Things Coming Productions. And if you want to say hi real quick.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be back. And same as last time, I am right. If you disagree with me, that automatically makes you wrong. Let's go.
Again, we're starting the same way. Deja vu.
All right. Hey, why not?
All right. So today's tier list, the way we're gonna be setting it up, pretty much is we're not gonna be basing it off of power. It's just more off of impact. I feel like we did the same on the other one, but we consider power a little bit more. But we're gonna disregard power here. We're just gonna focus on how much they kind of help push the storyline along, and how much of an impact they had overall. And so the very first top, the top of the list is very much needed. They were really required. Without them, the storyline wouldn't have moved, pretty much. Second one is they had an impact. Decent, they were required, you know what I mean? They did their thing. Third one's, I mean, here and there. They were indifferent. If they weren't there, that would have been much of a difference. If they were there, they made a difference. It was alright. Third one, fourth one, is they were around. They're just there. And then the last one, I feel like Yaz was just telling me this one was a little bit too harsh, but I just feel like I just came up with this one earlier today, and I thought it was fire. And those are dialogue fillers. They were just, they were just there to keep the conversation going. That was it. In terms of the storyline, they had no impact whatsoever. And let's get into it. As you guys can see, before we get into it, this is the list we're working with. It has almost everyone that was, on the Legend of Korra character list. Almost everyone. And so we're gonna be working with this. Obviously they're starting us off with Aang here. So how do we feel about Aang here? Actually, because this is the
it's a tricky one. In season 1, he had a decent role enough. I mean, he appeared in the end, but he was pushing those visions to Korra about Yakone being a bloodbender.
But like I feel like after that he didn't do. Yeah, see. So I was, I don't know if I should. I low-key want to put him in the. Nah, I'll put him in the
legacy part.
Yeah, I'll put him had impact. That's even a little bit too high for me personally. Cause he only,
personally, yeah. It was just the first season he really had impact. After that, I mean, he had impact like when he was kids. So they were kind of dealing with their relationships with him.
Had impact.
So,
had it.
I could see the argument for that.
Yeah, I had impact just because you mentioned that. Just because it did, in terms of their character development and their personal relationships, he did have a huge impact on there. And also, we'll mention this later on the line. He also had an impact in a different sense, which we will talk about later. Damn, like you would expect, that kid was so happy. Like as a kid, if you guys have not seen, by the way, I'll put it on my Instagram story. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll put my link in the description below. I put on my Instagram story a few weeks back for you guys. Well, I put a request for you guys to watch Legend of Korra so you guys can, understand this video. If you haven't watched it yet, you get an F. You failed. You had one job. But if you have, you would know how much of not a deadbeat dad, but just like he had terrible parenting skills. He really had
it's not his fault, but he's just a terrible.
Yeah, it's not, but it's like, my guy, you should have been there for your kids in more ways. More ways than just being physically present. You know what I mean? He did a little bit of damage. As a kid, y'all know, man. Y'all saw Avatar: The Last Airbender. He was a happy-go-lucky kid. Damn. But he grew up. Damn. People change, man. People change. All right, next on our list is Amon, the fake non-bender.
I think he had an impact, a very much impact actually, because he fucked Korra up.
He did.
Like, I mean, I'm sorry. Can I cuss?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Cool. Anyways,
Yeah, I agree. He did for her first villain, and a lot of people, and Deontay, you said this best, and it's a lot of people neglect to watch Legend of Korra, or they would start it off and they would stop because they don't get the same feeling they get from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's because she's the polar opposite of Aang. In terms of, she was very. Go ahead, you say it best.
Amon was the perfect villain for season 1 to humble her ass.
Right. Exactly.
She was so sure of herself, so confident. Mm-hmm. Then she ran into Amon halfway through the season, and she was just fearful of him for the rest of the time. And he stuck with her.
And he did help her, like, unlock her airbending, because at that point he took all her other bendings away. And it was the one thing that she hadn't really fully mastered there, so she was able to just only airbend. I thought that was great. That was great storytelling right there. I thought it was phenomenal. So yeah, for sure, Amon had an impact. But my guy, we're gonna put him at very much needed.
I can make an argument for very much needed, but we'll go through again. We'll go through again.
Okay.
Like I said, he's the perfect villain to humble her.
I'm sorry, I just the makeup really throws me. You would think. We'll talk about that. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. This is gonna be a 2-hour-long video if we talk about that. Asami. Listen, man.
Asami was very much needed.
Yeah, she was very much needed. Homegirl, the plot twist the homegirl made at the end threw me off so much. I remember watching this for the very first time, and I just went, "Wait a minute, what? How do we end up here?"
I just finished rewatching it, and I still don't get that impression from them. I just think they two friends walking into another world together. I still don't get that impression.
Two friends walking into another world together. Is there another way to say gay? It's literally.
I was just saying, I didn't get that impression. I don't care that they're gay. I didn't get that connection. Maybe a kiss or something, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, whatever.
But, all right. Yeah, anyways, very much needed. Very much needed.
That's the storyteller's fault.
What's his name?
Batir Jr.
Batir Jr., man. Real quick, I just want to say you were the ultimate simp, my guy. Like you.
Again, he was a simp to Kuvira.
I understand. Look, I'm not taking nothing away from Kuvira. Kuvira was powerful. She was a great earthbender, great metal bender. She was a boss. I don't take anything away from him. But his lack of I don't have power here, so let me just latch onto somebody else and be their little lapdog bullshit was trash. For me, all he did was literally move Kuvira's plan along. He was a pawn in Kuvira's chess game. That was all he was to me.
She was gonna blow him away too.
Yeah, he was a pawn. So for me, honestly, he would have gone into the meh pile because he really didn't move the storyline as much as he just helped her get into power. That's it. That's all he was. He was the access. He was the door that she needed to open in order to get in. Because he
ended up building that weapon at the end.
Right. And
so we'll go meh.
He's a good sidekick. He was smart. Yeah, he was smart. Don't get me wrong, but he was just like my man. Like you mad for me. Hey, wow, the homie Bolin. Hey, Bolin was one of my favorites. I don't know why, but my man had a whole movie arc within the goddamn show. Like the one episode I really liked was when he was when they were reviewing his movie and he was fighting some guys. Was it Amon? It wasn't. It was the one
Unalak.
Was it Unalak? Or somebody got set up. They set up the president. Remember what was? I think was it what's his name?
Oh no, they were trying to kidnap the president.
Yes, they were trying to kidnap the president. And who set that up? Was it Varric? Yeah, Varric.
Yes.
So when Varric set it up, and he was fighting to defend them, and he was fighting that little arena. That's where they were showing the movie, and it was going along with the movie as well. Every scene was going along with the fight scene. I thought that was dope because he was still dressed as his character. But in terms of impact, listen. Here's the thing, man. As far as Team Avatar 2.0 goes, I just felt like, I don't know, it was a lot. It didn't have the same feeling for sure because it's a different storyline, so I can't compare it because you know what I mean, different time. 70 years after, a lot of shit is happening, but I just felt like, I don't know, it wasn't the strongest for me. It was cool, but personally,
I feel like their dynamic was way different than the first Team Avatar, and I like it better I actually like their team out. Well, I like the original team Avatar better, but I like their dynamic better because they weren't perfect. Like, I know they weren't perfect in the first team Avatar either, but these were people who kind of just came together.
Right. No, I understand that. For sure.
Even after Korra beat Zahir and, you know, disappeared for 3 years, and they all came back together, it was like awkward. Like they were getting on each other's nerves. Like, that's actual friendship for real.
I agree.
So I just kind of enjoyed their dynamic a little more.
I mean, I agree with you said, but we'll talk about it. It's not much to say really. For me, it was just in terms of Bolin, I would say, what would you put him? Because that's the thing. Like,
was he very much? See, Asami came in handy because she got Future's Industries.
It's not even that. Only that, she was also, you know, when Korra, was it season 4 where she lost her? When Zahir fucked her up, like all the way up to the point where she could walk and she had to go back home, she was the one she was in touch with. So, you know, she helped her cope a little bit more. You know what I mean? She was there for Korra to lean on as well, more so than him and Mako. Mako, don't get me.
Well, she didn't allow Mako and Bolin.
I know. Wait till
that's the difference.
I know she didn't allow them, but she had more understanding. Just her being a female. I guess for Korra, it was her first female. I mean, if you look at Korra,
so in that case, that means you're just putting Asami in there because she's a female.
No.
She happened to understand Korra.
No. For me, it just like Korra has a very tomboyish personality. She's very like rough and tough with the guys always. You know, even you can see it in her fighting skill. Like, great fighter. Like, I'm saying nothing wrong with tomboys, but I'm just saying she was more there for her as a friend. Even if she didn't. I don't know. They just connected more, even if regardless of gender, they connected more on that level. Cause like, dude, she met them first, Mako and Bolin. But back to Bolin.
I'm just hold on, no, let's stay on this for a hot second. Because what you're saying is Asami's only very much needed because of her relationship.
No. I'm just saying that's an additive. I'm not saying she had Future Industries too. She had an impact in that sense too. I'm just saying that's an additive to it. I say also, not just because of that. She did way more than that outside of her relationship with Korra, for sure.
So I mean, you can make the same argument for Bolin. He's been
what has he done though? Outside, but what has he?
Outside? Team Avatar. After they did season 1, and he became the mover star. He did save the president.
Okay, I'll give him. Yeah,
that's impressive.
That is impressive.
He beat Gozan in season 3. Lava Bender. He did help Kuvira in season 4. However, him breaking away from Kuvira warned them about her attack and the weapons that she has.
Okay.
Boom.
That's all I need to hear. Honestly, you guys are probably thinking, well, is he not arguing back? I can't argue with facts. You try arguing with facts, then let me know.
Right.
Also, I'd be like, again, if you haven't watched the show, watch the show. It's such a good show. Come on. Boomy. You can tell Aang and Boomy were great friends just from the fact that he named his son after him. Uncle Boomy, man. Dude, he was another comic relief for me. I enjoyed him. His character development was great, very much needed.
Fantastic.
I really enjoyed it. Him becoming an airbender, dope. Man, their dad really did screw them up. If you guys have not watched, basically,
he screwed Boomy up the most.
The most. Here's the thing I need y'all to understand, and I will say this now because I held it back earlier when I was talking about Aang. In Korra, you get to understand a little bit more in depth. It's more in depth than Aang. I mean, the Last Airbender, because the Last Airbender was just like you only dealt with, in terms of avatars, you only dealt with Roku and Aang. You dealt with Kyoshi a little bit, you know what I mean? But you didn't go any much more further back, and you didn't get a lot of more explanation to how the Avatar came to be. Fast forward to Korra, you got, a whole explanation of how the Avatar came to be, the first Avatar, which is Avatar 1, which you'll be seeing right here, somewhere here. Avatar 1 right here, which we'll get to later on. And on top of that, you also got to understand that, really, every Avatar that comes after, has to deal with the fuck-ups of the one before. in this sense, for me, it was just like Aang, after the whole 100-Year War ended, was focusing on re-establishing the Air Nation. Because if you really think about it, go back to the Last Airbender, it really was the Last Airbender. I mean, in your head, it was like, okay, there was 4 elements, but there was not 4 nations. It was only 3 nations. He was the last one remaining. So the way he fucked his kids up was like he was expecting airbenders only. He wanted them to be airbenders. When he had Tenzin, he fully invested in Tenzin and really neglected his other 2 kids. Because, what's the other girl's name? His daughter's name? I forget.
Kaya.
Kaya was a waterbender, took after her mother, Katara. And Bumi was a non-bender. So it was just like he was harder on him because, okay, she at least had waterbending. He was a non-bender for a long time. Well, really up until his father died. And he really was hard on him. But
so
where do you put Bumi?
Like, just speaking on that, I still, like I said, I can't blame Aang.
I can't blame him either.
Because at the same time, you know, he had his avatar duties, keeping peace in the world.
Because you had
he did have to train Tenzin.
That is
as
true.
an airbender.
And then
he created the air acolytes, so at least his people's culture didn't die when he did.
Right, and
so he had a lot of responsibility, and something had to give.
Yeah, I think
his 2 kids.
I think for them it was just like because it was 2 different times. If you look at it, if you look at it,
I'm gonna tell you what broke my heart is when Bumi was in the Northern Air Temple and was looking at the statue of Aang, and he goes, "Dad, I hope I made you proud. I still spent my life trying to help people, even though I'm not a bender." That shit broke my heart.
You just trying to make me cry today, huh?
I was just saying, that broke my heart, man.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, they really, for me, Aang did. I think it was just the fact that, damn. Again, sorry for the noise. It's New York City. So do that. This is all you're gonna expect. I'm gonna let that pass real quick. I feel like the further it gets, the louder it's getting for some reason. But yeah, for me, I get it. It's an emergency, but homie, you do not have to honk that far. This is the best I'm gonna get. Okay, so getting back into this, him coming into like, okay, look, he gets done with the 100-Year War. He has to do more, right? I think the issue he had and where he lost balance in his life, personal life, was when he set up Republic City. And that's where I say Korra had to do so much more because she had to clean up Aang's fuck-ups. And I feel like each avatar has to adapt within their own time. For Aang, creating Republic City was ahead of its time. It was way ahead of its time because it was like, now you have to deal with politics. Because you're not dealing with like, oh, we have 4 nations, everybody has like their own leader. That's where the queen fell, because it was just like, yo, this is an old style of leading. She's over here getting rich off of people's backs. People are living like sections, literally different sections of Ba Sing Se. The higher you went, the more classism, and it really does teach you that. And for me, it was just like she was so ahead of his time, and he was just like trying to keep that in balance, trying to keep everything maintained. Kind of took away from his goal, because if you guys remember, Katara kept telling him, "Don't lose hope. There's still hope for the Air Nation to come back. You got this. You can bring your people out." And he was also that was always in the back of his mind, always from a kid. So that was his main mission. So that's why he was so hard. And his kids was just like, "Damn, I'm really trying to make sure that at least I don't die the last Airbender. Like I am the last Airbender right now. I don't want to die the last Airbender." So that's why he was so heavy on training Tenzin. And in that sense, Tenzin like got a bit of an ego off of it a little bit. That's why you get like him, Bumi, and Kai cannot see eye to eye for the majority of the part. Later on, their relationship does develop. But like at the beginning, it was just like, yo, you're always dad's favorite, type of shit. But that's what I'm saying. He had a lot to do, but he really did fuck up his kids. So with Bumi, he really had an impact for me, and I think he was very much needed to kind of help understand where. He helped us understand Aang a little bit more. And understand that he was not, you know what I mean? He was a human being at the end of the day. As much as we loved Aang as a kid, he was flawed. He was flawed. He was very much needed to understand that he was flawed. And for me, he was very much needed because he really helped, when, the third spirit world opened and people started coming in as airbenders all of a sudden. I think there's a protest going on outside, so don't mind all that noise.
I was about to say, I heard chanting.
Yeah. So I think he really helped kind of like become a better leader than, like a more laid back leader than Tenzin, because Tenzin was so uptight. Bumi was just there needed, like, okay, you know what, we got this. He helped kind of keep people together.
I mean, he is an experienced commander too.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, he was very much needed. So Bumi, I love you, man. And that's, man, you have to bring that. My mom was gonna cry. Damn,
I'm just saying that was the scene that like defined.
The twins. Listen, the twins.
That's nice.
When Bolin first saw them and he thought they were both girls, cracked me up. Okay. Sorry. Not much I could do about this protest. Did not know this was going on today. But yeah, in terms of impact.
Mean, you talking about Batir Jr. being a simp. You know, Bolin was a simp to her.
He was, but like Bolin did a lot more than Batir. They were very, honestly, they were very much needed. They were there till the very end.
Okay, so they popped up in season 3 and 4. They were definitely around in season 2. How much of an impact they had?
So
they failed in almost every mission their father gave them.
But also because you have to understand that they were also trying to kind of become very more cognizant for themselves, start thinking for themselves, because it was just like, yo, really, their dad was doing the same thing his dad did.
But
was that
how much would they really be around? Like, how much? Now, if you were to take them out of the story, how much of an impact would we really be missing? Yeah. Dialogue for that.
Really? You
No, not the twins. Not the twins. The Earth twins.
Oh, the Earth. No, that. Oh yeah, that was no argument. Oh yes, lady. Listen.
We got our first dialogue filler.
Listen, when I tell you, I was never like, I don't want to see nobody get killed. Don't get me wrong, right? But when I don't support any villains that heavy. I understand where they're coming from. Just the way they go about it. The way they go about it, I don't agree with. Where they're coming from, I get it, but the way they go about it. When Zahir took her out, I was like, I'm cool with this.
2 of them had good points, so I'm saying.
We'll get to them. Hey, this
Amon and Kabir, they had good points. Goes on. Lava Bender.
He was skilled, but
he was definitely skilled.
But he was just like, he was more there to fight than to have any more story. Yeah.
I mean, he helped Bolin progress. Well, I mean, yeah,
we're around for me, yeah.
Not at all taken away from his bender. If this was a bender,
if this was a bender left, yeah, he would be at the top. Yeah. Cool. Asami's dad.
Hirashi Sante.
Oh, you are bad, man. You are out. The first out you got introduced to was him. I understand where he was coming from, but at the same time, dog, like, you couldn't, at the very least, bro, like, you know what I mean? You keep secrets away from everybody else, but your own daughter, bro, that's where I was just like, that's a little bit hurtful, bro. That's family. You know what I mean? That's somebody.
She probably wouldn't understand. Family is where you lose sight. Family blind you.
Okay. And that's how you become a dictator, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I'll say.
That's how you become a dictator, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm just. I'm not saying all family. I'm not saying all. Okay, all family is good. We'll get to that. For me, I don't know, man. Meh is the best I can put you. I mean, yeah, you helped Asami.
Yeah, because without him, I mean, I'm pretty sure he helped push this industrial boom that we've seen in Legend of Korra.
Did he not? He did sacrifice himself.
He did sacrifice himself, and I was gonna get to that, but yeah, he did sacrifice himself in the end, which got them inside that mech suit.
So I would get that had an impact.
He provided the Equalists with the weapons that actually made them more of a threat. So I would go, yeah.
Had an impact.
Yeah, his inventions had an impact. Matt, I can live with Matt as well because he wasn't in the story much.
I mean, at the end, like borderline, I put you at the top of Matt. I might put you at the bottom of had an impact. We'll get through it again as we do usually. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we'll just leave it for now. Again, we'll have a revision at the end. Bro, I cannot remember none of his kids' names.
Oh my god, Iki.
What did Homegirl have? Was she the one that she not the one that could see spirits, right?
No, that's Korra.
Yes, you know, she was more the bison girl. Like she had bison little buddies, the little bison buddies. Yeah. She was cool.
She was the middle child.
Yeah, she was cool.
I love this.
I don't know. Kids were great. His kids were great, dude. Like these kids were really great. Where do we put her though? How much of an impact does she really have?
She had her moments.
She had her moments. So
season 1, they came down and helped Lynn fight off the Equalists.
I would put her at meh.
You know, she helped find Korra. Without her, honestly, without her, they wouldn't have found Korra in season 4. She was like, I think Korra's in the swamp. Janora and Milo were like, you don't know what you're talking about. And then she ended up being in the swamp.
And also that little dialogue they had with the guys that kidnapped her. That was funny.
Yeah,
that was that was funny. Okay.
And she got their food back.
I'm sorry, just because I just love his kids. I just love his kids. I'm sorry.
I do. They're all great.
They're so great. They all have such a different version. They're so great, bro. Okay. General Iroh.
I'm sorry, General Iroh Zuko.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know why he says that. If you haven't watched the show, you know. If you haven't watched the show, it's not much. It's just a little detail. Yeah. Let's just leave it at that. If you know, you know. You know what? I agree with you. If you know, you know. Let's leave it at that.
General Iroh Zuko.
General Iroh Zuko. Man, season 1 he had an impact.
He came at the end of season 1 when she did help him fight off the Equalists. After that, he only popped up every now and again. He couldn't really help in season 2. President Raiko told him he couldn't. Otherwise, he'd be court-martialed.
Season 3.
I can't really recall much of him in season 3, but season 4, he was there to help fight off Kuvira, kind of, sort of. His army kind of told to stand down. I hate to say this, but he was just around. I'm sorry. He was just around.
Top of the bit. I'll put you second. I felt like they did more. Nah. Interchangeably, it doesn't matter here. These two can be interchangeable. OG General Iroh. OG.
They didn't even use the actual picture of Iroh in Korra. They went to the OG pictures.
OG, yeah, OG. You know the amount of time. I'm sorry, but for a guy that was what?
You know, he's my overall favorite character.
Yeah, for a guy that was not even his continuum. Like he was just there. He got carried along he helped Korra out in so many ways in the spirit world.
I know, it would have been an uproar if they killed him. That's why they put him in the spirit world.
Yeah, he gave us so much guidance.
He did, and he helped Tenzin, Kaya, and Boom. They were there too.
Amazing.
Was very much needed. I think had an impact was better for him. I don't know about very much needed.
I just love him so much.
I love him too. He's my overall favorite character. I'm trying to be unbiased.
I'll put him at 3rd.
You know,
fair enough because Amon had it. I love General Iroh. Sorry.
General Iroh.
All right, sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty right there, but we're back. We're here. I was asking what I keep forgetting the kid's name. I forgot her name. Was it Janora?
I legit said Janora and the shit cut out.
Okay, Janora. Right, Janora for me really had a big impact. Dude, Homegirl could transfer her spirit,
and that shit came in handy in season 3 and 4.
Yeah,
like legit.
She was very much needed for me too.
She was like, you can't take her out of the story.
Yeah, at all.
And then be like, shit's missing.
Yeah. Like, she kind of outbested her dad in becoming like a master airbender in the sense where she invented an actual useful move. A man invented the spirit ball. Not the spirit ball, the little air ball. But yeah, next, the thief himself. Hey, yeah, I know.
Okay, it's quiet.
I was quiet. No, I was quiet because I'm just trying to think. He did save him with the bison when the temple was burning.
He did.
He did do that.
He did help fight off Kuvira.
He did fight off Kuvira, and he also, what did he do? The day when were they looking for Bolin and Mako? Were they looking for him when they stumbled upon?
Yes, when Bolin and Mako were looking for Kai,
they stumbled upon
he
their
stole
family.
their wallets, and they ended up fighting their family.
Okay, so had an impact. I wouldn't say. I mean, we pushed him to
only 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Had an impact.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he had more than Iki.
Katara, hey, what up, girl? How you doing?
Is it me or do all the old women in Water Tribe look the same?
They look exactly bro. I'm telling you, they all look the same. You know, it's not you. I've been saying that for a while now. Katara, that looks exactly like an old version of her mom and her grandmother.
Right. Well, her mom didn't get old. Let's see. So.
Damn. Yeah, you're right. Damn. That's Woo. My bad. We're around, really. I mean, she did.
Was around. She popped up. I mean, the biggest impact she had was, she healed
Korra in season 4.
Korra.
But like,
no, she didn't do that. She couldn't help. But she healed Korra, Mako, and Bolin when they were in the South Pole. And she forced Kaya and Boomy to go on the vacation with Tenzin. And their relationship got better because of it. But we'll still put her at War around. Because she was really she was only in a couple episodes of that. She did teach Korra water thing.
Bro.
Meh. Well,
top of meh. Let's put that revision. We'll come back in the revision. I don't even remember your name.
Down.
Hey, my boy, listen. I'm gonna argue to death with this guy right here. I was around.
I'm saying you gonna argue to death for him?
Yeah,
Legit.
I could not.
He was an amazing reason for Kuvira to do what she was doing.
Yeah,
I would rather be under Kuvira.
Listen, here's the thing. For him, he had a little bit of more character. I think he was needed in a sense where, look, it was a turning point for Ba Sing Se and the Earth Nation to realize like, hey, this whole monarchy, this whole monarchy bullshit.
Okay, but was he needed for that, or was Kuvira needed for that?
Listen, Kuvira had a very
you know what? Kuvira's coming up. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, she had a really large impact. We'll talk about it. But for him, it was more so of like, hey, he had his own little character development, and he did make Mako his bitch for a little bit, which was funny to me. I enjoyed that. I'm sticking my war around. I'm not moving him up. It's just more like at the end he did realize like, hey, like maybe I don't need to be the king. We need to kind of let go of the monarch system kind of thing. So that's the only thing I just wanted to mention.
Actually, that ended up pointing at Earth King more problems I heard from comics. So.
Did it? Damn.
Yeah, because they couldn't do a democracy correctly. There's other general tried to take over. Topkin won an election. Yeah, you know what? It was a whole thing. Korra. Obviously.
Hey, I'm sorry, bro. It's called The Legend of Korra. Right. Like, we could not put you anywhere else. Like, you were the one person that was in every single episode. Like,
go ahead. But she wasn't in every episode.
Almost every single episode. But listen, even if she wasn't in every single episode, her name was spoken. Like, come on.
Her name was legit called, like, Aang's name wasn't even in the last Airbender. Like,
right.
Who's the last Airbender? I don't know. Could be that dude. Sokka? Probably.
There was a boomerang. The boomerang comes back. Yeah, he looked like an Airbender. He made a thing come back. Kuvira.
Not even an argument.
Not even an argument, bro. Like the girl.
One of the few Earthbenders I got mad respect for.
And he really doesn't like Earthbenders. He has his reasons. Yeah, he just doesn't. He doesn't fuck with it, which is fair to him. Everybody has their own opinion. But for him to be impressed, that's big. That's big.
I love her fighting style the most, bro. She be sticking and moving.
She do, bro. She blind, bro. She used a metal to blindfold some people. I was like, dang.
She cut that shit around Korra and tossed her. Yeah,
bro. I looked at them and I'm like, y'all Earthbenders, y'all haven't really tapped into the metal bending at all yet. How the hell y'all gonna take this off? Is my next one. Yo, she really was fucking it up. All right, what's her name again? Kaya. Damn, Kaya.
That's her great grandmother. Great grandmother. It's her grandmother.
Yeah.
You know what? She's named after her grandmother or great grandmother. So, either way, Kaya. Now, I will only put Kaya in had impact. Now, the reason I put her underneath Boomy is because she kind of was MIA in season 4. She was around in season 2. She was around in season 3.
I understand
and
that.
MIA in season 4. Like, if she was in season 4, I would have put her up there. Very
she
much
did put up a fight against Zahir.
She put up a fight against Zahir and Ming Hao.
We're going to talk about you in a second because I'm trying to figure you out for long. Still, I don't understand how you work, but we're going to talk about you in a second. Don't get me wrong. All right. So, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Put her
right here. Nah. Here.
Only because she was MIA in season 4.
Yeah. All right. I'm so
Lynn,
bad with names, bro. Why am I so bad with names, Lynn?
You just want to let me do it?
Yeah, you just do the. I can remember some of them. It's just most of them. Just like it's been a while. Like you watched them more recently than I have. It's been a couple of weeks for me. Lynn, daughter of Toph. Toph was a terrible parent.
Ex-girlfriend of Tenzin.
Yeah, Toph also was a. For Toph it makes sense because she was just like she had so much restrictions. She gave her kids too much freedom. To the point where they wanted structure. So one of them took structure and the other one was carefree. So it just, it was a lot.
But, she came around full circle. She apologized for being a bad mother.
Yeah, she did. She did.
They fixed that.
Lynn, Lynn,
so she got that chance and never did. So.
Yeah, Lynn,
I wonder how good of a father Zuko was. Anyways.
Yeah.
That was just terrible parents.
What we very much needed.
I feel like Katara, the only one. I think she was very much needed.
Yeah.
I feel like if you take Lan out of the story,
it was
it's gonna be hard to replace her. That's why I shocked the fuck out of me when Amon took her bending. I was like, what?
Revision. We're revising. We'll revise the order.
We already know Mako Ghost very much needed. You're in the main cast.
Let me talk to you real quick, Mako, man. Let me spit some game at you. Let me holler at you real quick.
There you go.
Sir, how do you fuck up so much, man? At one point, yeah, I do agree. Like you said, I know you mentioned this earlier. He did say it was certain times where Korra was just like being too much and she couldn't really, like anything he did was pissing her off and he couldn't really win. But my guy, you really were just like, you could not hold down a girlfriend for longer than like a few episodes. And
technically, his relationship with Korra lasted a couple months.
Yeah, in real time, a couple.
Just because we didn't see it.
Okay, for a few months. All right, fine. You can hold down a girl though. You could. You were very much needed, but my nigga, come on.
Yeah, his cousin said it best. He was trying so hard not to anger anybody.
He ended up there.
You got Milo.
My man Milo.
Did you not remember Milo?
No. I don't remember his name. Listen to me. I don't remember his name, but my man Milo. When I tell you, I'll be hurt if somebody farted in my face and knocked me out. But my man was doing that shit like it was nothing, bro. That guy was a G. I'm sorry, he was a G. I'll probably had an impact. I would admit that. Yeah, I had an impact.
Yeah, more of an impact than I.
Revision, we'll do that. The one because Kaya. What's her name again?
All right, you got this one, Peter.
You literally said it a few seconds. Just say her name, and we'll talk about her arms. I'm sorry, guys, if you think I'm terrible. I did watch.
Ming Hai,
something. Okay. Listen, Homegirl has no. If y'all can see, Homegirl has no arm. This is water. Now, what Deontay and I were trying to understand this, right? So all the prisoners were locked in areas where they couldn't access their bending, right? So she was a waterbender. She was surrounded by fire, right? Tell me why, when Zahir came to free them and he provided her with water, all of a sudden Homegirl got water arms. How did she get the water to her arms? If she got no, how's she directing it? Somebody please explain to me. Let me know in the comments.
Waterbenders need their arms.
Right.
That is a fact. Firebenders don't need their arms. They can use their legs. They can breathe. Some can breathe fire. Earthbenders don't don't really need their arms. Airbenders don't really need their arms. Waterbenders need their arms. Hello?
I'm thinking. Hold on. I'm thinking. Earthman. Yeah. We did watch Boomy.
You can kick a rock at somebody.
Yeah, we did watch Boomy bend shit with his chin. Maybe she got that thing. Let me just. I don't know.
We've never seen that waterbender.
I don't know. Anyway, you're there.
Yeah, just for the same reason it goes on.
Now.
Might as well. Naga obviously had an impact. That's how Korra got around. She's like,
yeah.
And I'm just glad that she did not get killed.
Oh, she's so fine, man. I'm sorry.
Opal.
She became an airbender, dope girl.
Become an airbender. Bolin's girlfriend.
But she balanced Bolin, like more so than crazy lady. Who tried? Oof, man. The most impact she had was after Bolin tried to run away on their marriage. That's it. Anyway, Opal. Yeah, she had it very much. More for me. What were you thinking? I'll put it right here.
I'm trying to think of major things she did, and I feel like how you can pull out specific things she did. But Opal, she rescued her family.
In terms of like where she season 4 mainly, when she was helping around with people, because they did say the area she was gonna help out, and she cut through to Bolin a little bit more, because he was in it. You know what I mean? It was like trying to get him to understand like what he was doing was wrong. In a sense, I guess a little bit of a push, not much. But I get what you're saying. Oh.
It's just I can't think of no major stuff for her, other than Bolin. Fine.
Yeah, because he did engineer some stuff. Oof, combustion girl. Oh, that's how I call it.
Sparky Boom girl. Come on.
My bad.
Police.
Yo, yeah. I'm gonna tell you why. Remember, Zahir was so passionate about the airbending nation, the airbending, the ways, the people, and the guy he was studying. Her death was necessary because he needed to let go of anything that was tying him to the earth. And she was needed for that. And the way she died was
I can accept that, actually.
Yeah.
I can accept that. I was going to make an argument that she needs to go on and mad,
but yeah, that's the only reason why. Also, he gave short people hope. He gave a short nigga some hope. She was taller than him. You saw them when they were kissing.
Zahir wasn't that short. She was just tall.
Yeah, she was taller than him, but I'm just saying. He gave short. I'm just saying. He gave short niggas like a
I think he was like above average. He was around the same height as Tenzin.
How we thinking? Like 5'8", 5'9"?
You know what? I'll let you have this one.
Let me live, man. Let me have this one. Damn, I mean, that's not for me personally because I'm still 5, growing up in a basketball family. But you know about that. I'm sorry. What was this? Power, Theo Power? What? I forget.
Oh my god, you were so close. Pablo.
Okay.
Bolin's pet.
Yeah, Bolin, man. Just because he was Bolin's pet, I'm just gonna put.
Nigga, he ain't really do much.
For a pet, he really didn't get it. Okay. Tenz's wife. I'm that one. I'm so. Pema, listen to me, man. Girl, the way you do it, got me.
She should be at very much needed only because she raising Milo.
Bro, she really had to deal with that kid. I ain't gonna lie. Hold on now.
We can do high impact though. We can do high impact.
Nah. Raising them kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, bro. They were tough kids. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, she raising Milo, bro. That's a full ass job.
Oh, Rava, we're gonna have to. Yeah, sorry.
Rava's
above Korra. above Korra, because without Rava, there will be no Korra.
They're the same person.
Technically, just the spirit itself. Rava.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. Rava. Rava's fine and very much.
The president, bro. I'm sorry, but you were useless. You were so useless to me.
Right. Fun fact: he actually lost his re-election to Julie.
Julie got in? Yes!
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
He lost his re-election.
Hey, I'm just saying, when it comes to doing things, Julie is your girl.
She does the things.
She does the things. Yeah, I'm sorry. You were a dialogue filler for me. You were just a figure.
He was just there to give Korra a hard time.
Yeah.
He really didn't do that. He's
Sokka.
actually wrong in almost every sense.
Yo, listen to me. This is the one thing you and I agree that we don't get much closure on Sokka, man. And why is that?
It's the one thing I hate about this show. And I love this show, don't get me wrong.
It just feels like everybody in the original Team Avatar.
Like, we've seen them. We got some kind of closure, like, this is what they did.
Yeah, this is what they did. This is what
he
Sokka
became chief of the water tribe, Southern Water Tribe. Yeah, he became a councilman. He died.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. They didn't say how he died. You don't see, like, he had a family or anything, like kids or wife. He just died.
Unfortunately. Sadly, as much as I love Sokka, he didn't really. Yeah.
He was really in, like, one scene. And he did have some great dialogue in this. He once bested a man. With, hold on, what did he say? He was talking about Sparky Boom, man. He's like, I once bested a man with the same abilities for my trusty boomerang.
He
That's
did.
Sokka.
That's
Sokka.
Susan. Help me out.
Suyin.
I was close. Suyin. Yeah.
I will put her in very much needed, actually. Yeah. Only because, one, she did sort of train Korra in the middle.
Yeah.
And two, she kind of created Kuvira.
Yeah.
I
think I put her above. No.
Above Kuvira?
No.
But has she taken control of the Earth Kingdom like they asked her to? Even though it would be temporary, Kuvira would have never been born.
Right.
She would have stayed by her side and just helped her out.
Right.
But she created Kuvira. She created the main villain for season 4. She's very much.
Sweet. Okay. Cool. Unlock.
That is Councilman Tarlock.
Ow. Look at this. You can't tell me the men don't look alike either.
That's Todd Rock. Like, come on. How can you not tell them apart?
Look. Councilman
Tarlock.
He was sorry, it was Amon's brother.
I think he had an impact. Yeah, he was Amon's brother. He revealed that he was Amon's brother. And who Amon really was to Korra and Mako.
And the way had an impact. I'll put you like right here. He also was a way to kind of for me it was he did help Korra realize.
And he killed Amon.
Yeah, he helped Korra realize, but he was more so to help Korra realize that there is, again, helping out establishing Republic City further than what Aang did, because Aang and Zuko really just opened it up. It was more dealing with the issues and also realizing, like, to make sure you kind of screen who you put in power. You just don't put nobody in power like that, So he really
which is why after the situation with him, they scrapped the council and made the president.
Right. Tenzin.
Obvious one. I will put him above Vera, actually.
Yeah. For me, I felt like the one reason why, for me, the one thing that was lacking for me here in Team Avatar was, if you guys know, with every single Avatar, they always have friends that have the rest of the bendings that they can't do. So, for example, Aang was an airbender. He had a friend that was a waterbender, an earthbender, and a firebender, which were Katara, Toph, and Zuko, to help him, learn stuff. And that's the same with Korra here, and also one non-bender, Sokka. Shout out to my homie. with Korra here was the same. So she had Tenzin, which was the airbender, which he did help her, and he was a good guidance. And
she had the kids.
Yeah, she had the kids, and it was also their relationship was really good. I really enjoyed their relationship because they were not just, it wasn't just a one-sided relationship where Tenzin was helping build her up, but she was also helping Tenzin up as well, building Tenzin up as well, because when he was flawed, she helped him realize his flaws, and when she was flawed, he helped her realize her flaws. I respect that. But for me, it was just like, when it came with Mako, Bolin, and Asami, yeah, Asami had an impact in the sense of, okay, she was there for her when she was going through her trauma with Zahir, but Bolin and Mako was like, okay, cool, you guys did your little firebending, earthbending, waterbending shit, you know, little competition, little tournament, won a few games, did the thing, but they really didn't teach her much in terms of bending, not in terms of personal stuff. For me, it was just like,
I disagree with that.
Help me out, help me understand.
If you go back to season 1, very early in the episodes, Tenzin was trying to teach her the proper way to airbend, and she just wasn't getting it. So when she started going to pro bending and ended up joining Mako and Bolin's team, they taught her how to actually fight pro bending, how to move.
Yeah.
Like she had her proper stances. It was taking her time to attack, and it was like, that's not work.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be able to move, stay light on your feet. So they really did help her come into her own fighting style.
Yeah. Yeah, in that sense, but I just feel like, it's still, it was I mean, I understand because, you know, she was a very confident, like, you know, bender in the other elements in terms of like fire and earth, which she, you know, so I understand it can have much of an impact. Ooh, what the hell did I just do?
Oh God, did you just lose it?
No, we didn't lose it. We'll be right there. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll be right there. Ooh, nah, yeah, I've done that before. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, that's the only thing. But Tenzin, definitely very much needed. The relationship was very dope. I really enjoyed it. And now her dad, Korra's dad. Yeah. Meh. Even down to we're around.
See, oh man, it was her rift in her relationship with her dad and even Tenzin that pushed her to Unalaq.
Okay. It had an impact.
I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that because I feel like he was there in season 2. He was kind of there in season 3. It wasn't much around season 4.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Toph. Oof, terrible mother.
She had an impact.
Yeah.
I can make an argument for very much needed, but I'm starting to feel like that's what people up there.
I could too, but like she really did get the lasting health quote.
The poison out of Korra. She got her somewhat back to herself.
Had an impact, but I'll put her like up there, but not too. We'll revise it.
Honestly, if you take Toph out of the story, then Korra probably would have never got that poison out of her system.
Right. Yeah, very true.
Because Su Yin got it out the first time.
Yeah,
and she didn't get all of it.
Right. And then the remainder.
I can make an argument for very much needed now. Damn it, this is hard to talk.
I'll listen. Let's do this. Let's do a quick revision right now.
We'll never forget your sacrifice, man.
We will never forget your sacrifice.
Good job.
Right. It's like Mrs. Incredible of The Incredibles because that baby, man, that baby is smiling. Now Unalaq. My bad. Jeez. Hey, yeah, you were very much needed, my guy. Sorry. Like, you.
So people say of the villains, he was the worst. I would kind of agree.
Yeah,
personality wise, he was definitely the worst. But he's not by any means bad. I would not put him above Vera.
The reason, we did just because he did sever the avatar state from her, and he did destroy all her past lives. Is the reason why I put him up here.
Now, was that him, Or was that Batu?
No, that was him.
Okay, fine. Whatever. You put him above the Great Uniter.
Vatu, yeah.
Obviously, those up there. They started it all.
Yeah, you know. Okay, we coming down to the wire. Hey, Varric. The homie Varric. Oh, man. Okay, let's go down his list. He did have a ploy to get the president kidnapped.
And he incited the civil war between the northern and southern water tribes.
Right. He did
broke out of prison.
He did break out of prison. He did help out with Kuvira.
He did. He created created the basis for Kuvira's weapon.
He did. Taking the
basically
whole.
Created.
Yeah, dude. I think you were very much needed, man. You really did do a lot. You really did do a lot. I won't put you. I'll put you in there. Avatar
1, where it all started.
Here's the thing.
Even though he was only in 2 episodes, I think those 2 episodes were probably, in all Avatar, probably 2 of the best episodes. Like, if you talk the top 10 episodes, both those episodes are going to be in. Because nobody ever stopped to think who the fuck was the first Avatar and what was they like? What were they like?
Okay. I can't argue. I really can't. Zahir, out of the 4 people that you very much needed, because you really were like the leader, and they were.
Zahir was definitely the best villain.
Put you under.
As much as I love the Great Uniter.
Okay. Because I did that for you, because I was gonna put him above her and gun.
I feel like Amon should be up there too, but we'll come back at that with the revision.
Interchangeable. Julie.
She did the thing.
She had an impact, yeah. Tom, one of the, yeah. I'll put her right here. And
Lord Zuko.
And you know what's funny about that? I was like, did he not become like a Phoenix? He did not become Phoenix because he wasn't. The Fire Lord was his daughter at the time.
That was Fire. Yeah, Izumi.
Yeah, and he was what?
Just Lord Zuko.
Okay, he was cool though.
He retired and passed the title to his daughter. You thought he became Phoenix King? That was Ozai, his ego.
I understand that. I get what you mean. I really wanted to know about him as a parent.
His daughter, she turned out level-headed. Like, he wanted to get back to Fire Nation.
But let's be honest. Yeah, let's be honest though. He went through a lot of. He had the toughest upbringing.
And I feel like he knows what he wanted in a parent.
Exactly.
And
so
he was able to be that.
I think he was the best parent. I think he was the all-around stable parent of them all.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same with Toph, where she knew what she wanted from her parents, and she tried to beat that, and ended up fucking with the kid.
Yeah.
And I think Zuko had the opposite effect, where he knew what he wanted in her parents. But
very much needed or had an impact?
He definitely had it.
Yeah,
because I would say his single greatest thing was a mistake. He sort of accidentally kind of gave Korra the advice that got her captured by Zahir. When he kidnapped the new airbenders, it was him who said, Aang would sacrifice anything to get them back.
Here's the thing.
And she came up with the plan.
Right. Here's the thing, and this is what I want to. By the way, this is our list, guys. We'll do a revision real quick in a second here. Let's do a revision, then I'll do a wrap up where I will mention everything we said. Okay, so very much needed. Starting off here, the first 3 for Ashley up until here. Are we fine with these first line? Actually, the first row.
I think Amon needs to be up there. I know you don't like him. I know you got your things against him, but I think he was a great way to humble Korra.
Okay, we'll put him on up there. And we got. Okay.
And I mean, a great way to humble her.
We'll put him on here. But speaking of the first row, this line here, are we good with this?
Fine. Yes, they all deserve their
this
spots.
One need a little bit of revision. Yes, no, maybe.
I would put Mako next to Sami and Bolin.
Okay. I agree with that. Honestly, I'll put her above a little bit more.
I would, yeah. Because she definitely came in handy toward the end of the show. And she would probably come before both of them as well.
Yeah. So do that. And yeah, I think the rest is fine with me, if it's fine with you.
I'm struggling with the Boomy Varric. Did you think Boomy had a bigger impact than Varric? Like he basically incited.
Yeah. You're right. You good with that now? Wait.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Okay, cool. Had an impact. We did Aang, Iroh, Iki, Julie. Here's why. Until this point, I'm fine. Until Julie. You let me know if you're not fine with it. Until Julie.
You don't think Kaya had an impact?
No. Until Julie, I'm fine. But Kaya definitely had an impact. It's just past that. I mean, there's some revision. Not Kaya specifically. It's just some revision needs to be done.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
I could put him a little bit higher. Just because of his ties to Amon, first of all, him revealing that who Amon really was and that he was he was a bender. Him being related to Amon, and him giving us more of the backstory to Amon and how Amon really became Amon and how he lost his laziness because their dad was, an all-around terrible messes. Damn, like no parents were great in this show. Raise your kids right. I'll put her at the bottom.
I was gonna say Sudan, but Jimmy betrayed him. He betrayed him for love, though. One-sided love.
Okay. Him up. Honestly, I'll put him in.
He was a good secondary villain.
Yeah. Shit, man, I might have to bump him up a little bit more.
And he beat Korra, actually. Let's talk about that. I think that was one of. I think Amon beat her. I think up to that point, I think the only person that actually beat her was Amon. Until Tarlok came.
So if we're talking based purely storyline, I'll put him at the top.
I can live with that.
Yeah, I'll put him at the top. So okay, so we go with that. And Kaya, Milo, you.
I think Milo could go above Kaya.
Cause I feel like Kaya didn't do, but then again, the relationships are interchangeable. They can stay interchangeable. Kai, I can put him above. For this interchangeable. Kai, just looking this here. Kai's fine, I guess. We can leave him there. But do we put him above? Zuko really didn't do much, really. Just was there, here and there. He had an impact, but in terms in that list,
guys,
yeah.
Zuko.
In that list, he was.
I'm sorry, hold on. Zuko here.
I don't think it did rehearse that. All right, we're done with that one. We're good with had an impact. The meh list. I'm fine with it, bro. Yeah, we're around.
From here down, I'm actually good.
We're around. Yeah, fine with it. These two interchangeably. Oh man, it hurts me too. All right, guys, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Probably. I hope this is not meant for kids. This video. I'm sorry, we cussed a lot. It's not meant for kids, but
at this point, I don't even hear myself,
bro, because it's us. Like you know what I mean? Like to anybody else, This is our list.
The clock. Hear myself.
This is our list. This is it. Here's what I want to say. When you were talking to, what were we saying about Zuko earlier about him leading to Korra in the direction of him rescuing the airbenders? Again, I want to reiterate the fact that a lot of the avatars have to carry the predecessors' workload. A lot of the stuff you have to carry and you have to take care of. It's very
or even some further avatars.
Right. It's very few instances where it was like, okay, you could do your own thing, but you just have to kind of help better the world. And the way I say that is, if you guys remember the waterbender back in the Avatar Last Airbender, just ran into that. The waterbender that came, was it after the airbender?
Avatar Korra?
Yeah. He was the most laid-back Avatar. And he paid his price. And just because the world was at peace, that doesn't mean you couldn't have helped progress it. And that's what he lacked at. And the Spirit Code was like, hey man, you're not doing your job, so you don't get a happy ending. You don't get to live your life with a beautiful wife, so I'm just gonna steal her face.
Now see, that's the thing where it's also kind of sort of Kyoshi's fault. Where people think Kyoshi did such a great job. It was Kyoshi who more or less divided the Earth Kingdom. It wasn't just Kyoshi Island.
I understand. No, I do. And there is a fuck up there too. That's what I'm saying.
So it was stuff for him to go do. He just didn't do it.
Yeah. So he set us back even further. So that kind of like trickled. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Kyoshi started it, but he really didn't do much either. Wait, would it be Kyoshi after him?
Wait, was it Kyoshi? Kyoshi was before him. It was Yang Chen.
Yang Chen was before him. But I felt like Yang Chen maybe didn't do much either then. Maybe she brought peace, but she really didn't pay attention to the Earth Kingdom. Maybe the Earth Kingdom was at the beginning of its crumbling, you know what I mean? And going down the path, and Yang Chen just didn't see it.
So maybe that was something. Water?
No, it would go, listen.
Yeah, water, yeah, Kyoshi, yeah, he came after Yang Chen, you're right.
Yang Chen.
Yeah. Yeah, so Avatar Korra did his fucking job. Kyoshi wouldn't have divided up the Earth Kingdom the way she did.
Yeah, she wouldn't have done the way she did. Damn, he really messed up big time. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, is you have to carry a lot of the burdens from the previous Avatar lives, you know what I mean? It's not
that's
just
why the next Avatar will be able to, they'll fix Korra's mistakes of,
it's gonna be an Earthbender
with the other Avatars.
The next one's an Earthbender. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy that one. I'm gonna see your talk. I want to see your videos on that one because this time it's an Earthbender. It's starting off with it.
It's not gonna happen. No one cares. It's an Earthbender.
Shut up. But anyway.
But I'm gonna tell you this Earthbender's greatest accomplishment is gonna be able to reconnect with the past lives. It's gonna fix with Korra, bro.
That, and also I think this was a ploy. I think that they knew what they were doing by demolishing the Earth Kingdom like that, because you're gonna need somebody that is born in that world to be able to fix it. Because you have a better. Bro, can we stop? Can you stop? Stop going back to Kavira. Kavira had her thing.
I was just saying, she was not wrong.
She was not. Listen, she was a way to really help. She was very, very much so needed to help people realize that people were sleeping. People were sleeping and they were living their life. And and I watched the video. They were so compliant. They became so compliant to their life and so content in the way they were living, as shitty as it was. And you notice this. Remember Bolin and Mako's grandmother? And when the building was burning, she managed to grab the picture of the queen and didn't want to leave it. After, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were very much mentally like oppressed as well, because they were taught and molded to believe that, hey, this is the life it is, this is the way it is, enjoy it. Whatever section you put in, that's your life, enjoy it. And that's what it is. And Kuvir was the only person that was very much so decided to wake up and say, hey, shit's gotta be done. We gotta unite the Earth Kingdom. We have to unite it. The way she went about it was not the best.
Perfect.
Get out. Shut up. It was not perfect. But
I think her only mistake, really, in my opinion, was going after Republic City. Had she left Republic City alone, I think they would have left her alone, because she did bring peace to the Earth Kingdom. No matter, she might have been harsh. She might have been harsh. She might have had some, what do they call it? Re-education camps. Okay. But after a while, when things settled down and nobody was against her,
she basically pulled a Hitler.
That's not what I said. Okay, I chose my words. I chose my words very carefully.
She basically pulled. This was literally, she was about to run a Nazi Germany on the Earth Kingdom.
I chose my words very carefully.
Get out.
All right.
You know exactly what she was doing. You know what it was, but that's what I'm saying. But anyways, going back to the topic, what we're talking about is just saying that I want to specifically, I'm targeting those people that did not give Korra a chance. And I was one of those people. When I first watched it, I was like, whatever. Like, this did not give me the same feeling as like The Last Airbender. It wasn't until I spoke with Deontay here and he gave me a different perspective and said, hey, listen, like, it might not be, that's not the feeling it's going to evoke. And then he gave an opinion where he said, a lot of people don't mess with Korra because they feel like she was too overconfident. She was not the polar opposite of Aang. And I understood. And still, even after he told me, I was still hesitant. But I was just like, you know what? Let me just give it a chance. Why not? I really, at that time, I didn't have anything to watch. I was like, let me give it a chance the second round through. Let me watch it. Let me pay full attention and see it through. And I really, really enjoyed it. It was really good storytelling. But here, it was more so, you guys have to take into consideration when you're watching the show. This is 70 years after the 100-Year War ended. 70 years after Aang. So now you gotta think, times have gotta change. Because if you look at it in real-time worlds, this is, if you're thinking about, let's say back, not even the middle, like about the 1500s, even further back, would have been Aang's time. Because they were literally using shillings and coins and silver coins and other coins to pay for stuff. And then you're progressing, now you're becoming more so, of the real world dynamic nowadays. You kind of, okay, you're setting up, you have your little president, you have politics being set up, and you have, well, they did have a little bit of a parliament going, but that didn't go well. So you're basically, for me, it was where Aang failed. And don't get me wrong, nobody's perfect. You're not gonna everything, you're not gonna get it done, because at the Avatar, you have so much work to do. Where Aang failed was, he did not, I felt like Aang expected, okay, I'm gonna build Republic City with Zuko, we're gonna have peace, and everybody was gonna be great. Everything's gonna be a-okay, and it's gonna give me enough time for me to focus on rebuilding the Air Nation. But that does not everything you set out goes as planned. That did not go as planned. A lot of problems started occurring, and even more problem after he died. Just realizing, like, in terms of Korra, she had to deal with the fact that, okay, there's a lot of benders that live here, but also there's non-benders. That's where Amon came in. Amon was like vouching for the non-benders, even though he's a bender himself, but in a sense, he was the voice for the non-benders, helping them realize, hey, his motive might have been different. He wanted to be he had his own little motive, but like, he gave voice to the non-benders, and that was a problem. He had a point. It was just, hey, there's non-benders living here. How do we cater to them as well? Because how do they defend themselves when you're being, you know what I mean? That was the very first episode. Was 3 benders, the little thieves, robbing people because they were like, well, they can't defend themselves. And that's the only, you know what I mean? It's just, that's where he failed, was on fully establishing Republic City and figuring out the ins and outs. And the reason why he failed at that is because Republic City was ahead of its time. It was ahead of its time. It was implemented in a world where it was basically purely based on monarchy and kingdoms and all that stuff. So when you implement something new, it's going to take a while to take it off of its feet. Alright, so as I was saying, sorry, I had to mute a few Discord chats. Just, I don't want people's personal names and Discords coming up. It's a lot you have to bear as a future Avatar, just because you have a lot of work to do. With Aang, as I said, he really was establishing Republic City into a world that was very new to it. It was a concept at the time, and Korra really had to build upon it, even though it really did get destroyed at the end with the poor opening of the third world. By the way, and since you told me something about that happened in the comics, and I'm gonna tell you something that happened. I read in the comics. Ironically enough, I watched a video on it. It was the voice actors reading off the comics. So Asami and Korra's voice actors were reading off the comics. Very interesting. I'll see if I can find that video, and I'll link in the description below. And what happened was the spirits weren't actually happy that Korra opened the third portal. So there was actually there's a lot of uproar that actually ends up happening in the spirit world. Again, listen, just because you solve something, problems are always going to be occurring. You just have to be innovative. And
that was an accident.
It was an accident, but it caused a problem that she has to handle. You know what I mean? But she didn't. It was an accident, but she didn't look at it as like a bad thing. It was like, kind of seemed like it was a good thing. But regardless of the situation, what I was trying to say is Aang failed at that, and that's where he kind of bear down on his kids, was where it was like, okay, not to prolong it, as we spoke about it, is because he really never got to fully see the Air Nation come alive. And I think Korra did what she needed to do. she helped build the Air Nation back up. The opening of the third portal helped. That accident really did help. And that's what I'm saying. So, and you really have to look past the point of like, oh man, she's too cocky. She could do all the bending already. Why is bro? It goes deeper than that. This is more of you gonna handle real problems. Like shit is going down. She has to. She's not just avataring in a sense where she's just fighting people off. She's being political as well. That's what I'm trying to say. But I don't want to prolong anything. If you guys want to have a discussion like this,
one real quick thing.
Yeah, you can. I'm gonna let you speak in a second. Deontay, go ahead. Do you say what you want to say?
One of the biggest arguments I heard against this show is people always saying it's not as good as The Last Airbender. I'll say facts to that. If I had to pick one of the two, I would definitely go to The Last Airbender. We all grew up with it. We all love it. Had this show come out before that, this show would have that love. This show is amazing, and you really can't compare it to The Last Airbender. Because it's not The Last Airbender.
It's its own thing. Yes, there is
its own thing.
There is ties to The Last Airbender, but it's not. You guys have to understand.
It's more than just a sequel series.
It's way more than just a sequel series. The story is developing so much deeper, and you're basically being exposed to things that you're living through the eyes of Korra, dealing with more than just trying to bring peace to the world, but how do you help the world progress as well? How do you keep the world stable? As I said before, you're dealing with politics, you're dealing with people, you're dealing with you have to deal with betrayals. Bro, it's so much more than that. So if you have not watched the show, I really highly recommend you do watch it. It is on Prime. You have to pay for the Nick version of it. It's I think it's $7 or some shit. Extra $7, whatever it might be. You go check it out. But yeah, it's
if you know any less than legal ways,
by all means, we would turn the other cheek. Not even the other cheek. We just turn our heads. We don't know what you're talking about. We don't see anything. Do what you gotta do. Watch it. It's a great show. But yeah, again, this is our list. This is it. This is the list. Yeah, I mean, this was perfect. I enjoyed this. Deontay, again, thank you so much for being on this. For the next one, I do have an idea we're gonna do. I just gotta find a tier list. I want to keep this tier list stuff going. I feel like it's very entertaining. But yeah, we might do a 90s cartoon one. We just rank 90s cartoons. Or like cartoons from Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network specifically, or Disney stuff. We might do that. So if I find a good list, we'll do that. So you guys will hear more from Deontay is what I'm trying to say. But yeah,
I'm gonna be able to do that list. I'm biased, but yeah.
We'll do that in a podcast form for sure. But yeah, with that being said, this has been your host with the most, The Essential Dose, and my boy Deontay. If you want to see your thing,
if you disagree with me, fight. I mean, don't fight, but with the date, I'll win. Yeah,
Again, reminder, if you have not checked out the first part, I will link it at the end of this video. Also, you can go back and check it out on my channel as well. If you are a console owner, you have a PS4 specifically, and your PS4 is running like a jet engine, I did have a PS4 clean tutorial up not so long ago. It is on my channel. Go check that out as well. I'll put all my links to my socials and the links in the description below. I will put Deontay's. He's the board. He's the boss. With that being said, yeah, again, that's me, your host with the most, This Is Your Dose, and I'm out. Peace.